Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is an M12, the Tier 7 American SPG, and we're located on the south spawn of Redshire, and it's being commanded by Running Hawk. Battle has just commenced because there was a delay in loading the machine, I think, or loading the game. Now, what can we say about the M12? Well, it's based on the M3 chassis. It has a gun which is based on a French World War I design, a 155mm howitzer, and they only built 100 of them. They built 60 in 1942 and a further 40 in 1943. And one of them still exists, and it's at Fort Sill. There's a museum, and you can actually see this M12 on display. And it looks like Running Hawk is trying to set up an Arty nest, knocked over a few trees, and I'd never ever recommend doing that because main reason is it gives away where you actually have been, and if they can see a tracer from tanks from your gun, they'll know that you are located there. So they'll look for a fallen tree, and then if they see a tracer, they'll know who to fire at, where to fire at. So first target, a Wizzy 11114. This is a tier 9 game. Now, unfortunately, it's a difficult shot at this moment because he is in cover of that rock. It's in defilade. But he's going to have to poke around that corner if he wants to get that ISM. And I think Running Hawk can get him now. Rounds out. Oh, it hits the rock face. That's unfortunate. Now, he can certainly hit that ST1, but he's not loaded yet. He's got a 23.8 second reload time. And I think he's going to go for the SU-152, which is sitting up here. Very dangerous place for the SU-152 to be. Round out. Direct hit! 218 hit points. Good strike. Actually, it's 23.9 seconds on the reload. The mods we use, which are Aslains, actually show the exact time for a reload. He's almost ready to shoot again, going for the T-30 this time. Dangerous tank destroyer. Rounds out. Direct hit right into the turret of that T-30. 314 hit points this time. He must have done some critical damage to that T-40. Can't hit that VK very easily. Can hit the Wizzy, can get the FE4202, but I think the T-30 is actually probably the most dangerous of those. But it looks like Running Hawk still wants to go for this FE. Rounds out. No, he hits the ground. But that's the problem with those ridge lines. It makes it difficult. Sometimes you can't judge the shot exactly right, and the shell will actually go directly into the ground. Whereas this T-30 should be an easy hit. A few seconds to go to fire. He's got 13 rounds of standard HE left. Now that actually went slightly to one side. He's got 12 rounds of standard HE now and 3 rounds of premium. Now the premium will give him better splash, but the enemy's just lost their Tiger P, and he's appears to be going for the Wizzy 111 this time. Who's using that Tiger P wreck for cover. Firing over the engine deck. Good strike. 286 hit points. Right into the Wizzies. Stunned him. Now, we're not doing so well on the other side of the battlefield, unfortunately. But with 3 tanks down at the moment. We've got a CDC and an IS-2. I've taken the centre rock just underneath those 2 hills, on top of those hills. They've taken possession of the castle, and they're pushing south. So whilst the heavies appear to be doing quite well on the 9 and the 0 line, and that's another useful strike on the SD1, 136 hit points. Problem tactically is now they only have the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger over on the west side of the map. Everybody else is over on the east side. And Striv has seen this, and he's relocating. He knows the trouble they're in, and obviously he realises he's got to get over there. Now we've lost the Rheinmetall Borsig. And that's a good strike. 197 on T30. Now I do hope some of these heavies recognise the problem and turn around and come back to help. Otherwise their cap's going to get overrun. Right, Running Hawk's going to go for the T30 again. No, he's going to hit the ones near the cap. And he's been joined by the Striv as a guard who's nearby. There's the IS-2. Instead of actually defending or going for the cap, round out. And he hits the water, splashes the IS-2 and stuns him. And he's taken out by the Striv. So that was a useful shot. Now, we don't know where that T10's gone. There's the T10. Okay, he's trying to cross the river as well. Now, that's a bit of a silly move, really. They should... Oh, it's not a T10, it's a 110. They should be trying to seize the cap. But maybe they're worried about the Striv. They know the Striv's there, and if they went into the cap, it's a bit of an open cap, they would be vulnerable to fire. But there is an AT7 and a T29 to back them up. There's the CDC come down from the center rock, and somebody is capping. Somebody is in the cap. Now, unfortunately, Running Hawk can't get a solution on the 110, mainly because the ridge line is actually in the way. He can only shoot things which are really close, or things that are much further away. And the Striv's taken care of the 110. But Running Hawk can hit the cap. Can he locate where the enemy is? Well, I'd think behind that barn. That's the most usual place they hide. Yep, that's where he's aiming. And yes, there's the T29. So he's going to get a reset here. And he does. There's the AT7. The Striv takes out the T29. Now, I think the Striv's going to pick up the AT7 as well. Oh, and the AT7's gone down. And that means that the enemy only have an SU-101 left. And a GW Panther. And there's the 101. So I think hats off has to go to the Striv 103. Because he had the foresight to come back and defend the cap. And in doing so, he actually allowed his team to win. Because he stopped the enemy from securing the cap and then defending against any returning heavies. Right, Running Hawk's going to put a round into the 101. Almost ready to shoot. Rounds out. Direct hit right into the side. 292. Good hit. And you can see the yellow stain on the side of the vehicle. The HE explosion. And he's still stunned, that 101. He's not going to be able to defend himself. Well, he's stopped moving. And Running Hawk's about ready to fire again. Rounds out. And another hit into the side. 251. I'm sure that SU-101 driver is really fed up with being stunned right by now. But he's putting up a good defense all the same. But it won't last long. The T-29's going in for the ram kill, and he does it. And that means there's only the enemy Arty still to kill. And I suspect he'll be in the dip or in the far corner. Now the dip is in grid squares A, 3 and 4. And the far corner A1. Now can we spot a tracer coming from the far corner? Well, he's not in the dip. The 110's gone into the dip. There's nobody there. Which means he must be somewhere around here. He must be in the field of view. Either that or he relocated south. After his team conquered the south area. Well, he must have relocated. He must be in the south area. But they're going to cap out very shortly. And I think Running Hawk's decided to go shotgun. Game's won. Just a question of finding... Oh, there's the GW. And he's been taken out by the ISM. And that's the end of the battle. He had a win rate of 2-1-1-1 from that at least. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, he got a second class tanker in this battle in the M12 Running Hawk. And he also picked up a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 8. Let's have a look at the... and he also picked up a Confederate medal as well. He hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently destroyed by other members of his team. And in fact, actually, he didn't kill any tanks at all. So everything he hit was actually killed by other members of his team. He managed to get 2,079 hit points, which put him 4th on the table for damage. Sorry. And when it came to kills, well, he didn't get any at all, which puts him well down the table, I'm afraid. But when it came to base XP, he was 5th in the table when it came to base, 904. Not bad. He fired 13 rounds, got 8 direct hits, 8 penetration, 2 splash damage of 2,079 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He hit 7 of the enemy but didn't get any kills, but he did get 1,371 hit points of stun damage off 10 stuns, and he managed to get 38 defense points when he reset the cap using the T29. On a premium account, he earned 43,067 credits, and after ammunition resupply, he had 28,507 credits spare. He received 1,356 XP, and there was no multiplier, so that's all he took away. But he did get a nice Confederate, so well done there, Running Hawk. They're obviously an indication that you've been working extremely hard during the battles, and I always like seeing a Confederate come up, because it means that I've reached out and touched the enemy, quite literally, with HE. So, if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. And hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.